Look at the moon. It's a little thumbnail. What's poppin', people? It's Dante. Just walking here in Fairmount Park, Philadelphia. You can see my breath. Can you see my breath from my first person POV with the GoPro Mini at 720p? 30 FPS. Look at these trees. Wow, wow. Yeah, it's interesting. Monotony. I was thinking this morning about monotony and how maybe monotony is a good creative outlet. You know, experiencing the same thing on repeat every single day can maybe give us a way to creatively thrive, actually. The mundane life that we live, it's something I think about a lot as a street photographer, as I walk the same lane every single day, embracing the mundane. And honestly, maybe one creative thought I had about making photos in the same place over and over again is, you know, just make a picture 365 times, you know, for every single day of the same thing until you get the best one, right? It's like, if I cross this same bridge every single day on this bus, how can I creatively thrive and make a picture of the river or make a picture of the skyline? And maybe that one day out of the 365 days, something will align. I think that there is something good about creative constraints, right? Where, you know, if you limit yourself to photographing in black and white, or if you limit yourself to photographing in color, if you limit yourself to photographing with the 35mm lens, if you limit yourself to doing one thing, this, I believe, is something that allows you to creatively thrive. And so, yeah, my simple idea with creative thriving amongst the mundane monotony of everyday life is to make a photograph of the same vantage point every single day of the same thing for 365 days. And yeah, while I ride the bus in the morning, I'm photographing the Schuylkill River and trying different ways to frame the river using the window. And actually today I was using a different part of the window, photographing through the front of the bus and then using this small little like slit. That is something I was actually thinking about because I was looking through Larry Tao's Mennonites book and I saw the photo that he made through a fence. And yeah, I don't think I can make something that's like better than that. And that's not necessarily the goal itself, but the goal is to build upon these ideas, and maybe that's a good idea, is to photograph through this slit in the window to then showcase the landscape in a more interesting way than just showing it for what it is. And yeah, creative thriving is something that I believe brings life more meaning, and in order to achieve this sense of flourishing within our creative practice of making photographs, maybe we need to embrace the mundane nature of life. We need to embrace the small details that are all around us. It's important for us to not overlook these things because that's how we become burnt out. I think that actually when you wake up in the morning just eager to catch the sunrise, eager to go out there and to see the world, this is where success is within the realm of photography, where I can essentially be anywhere in the world and understand that I can create a new world. And so when I'm photographing, I'm essentially ignoring the real world. I'm ignoring the reality of the world around me, and I'm creating my own version of it, right? And I think this is something empowering that I utilize in my toolkit as a creative process and practice doing photography in my everyday life, right? And so, yeah, I think that if you create your own world, this to me is an interesting approach, right? Where, you know, reality is maybe boring and photography makes life more interesting. Oh wow, looks like something happened here. Maybe wow, what happened to this tree? The burning bush has fallen? Somebody chopped it? Anyways, yeah, I just think it's about creative thriving in the mundane, everyday nature of life. You know, I think that you can make life more interesting and give life more meaning through making photographs, through creating your own version of reality. You know, not as a chore, but something that you utilize to inspire or to just see anew every single day. Because to me, the ultimate tragedy as a photographer is to stop making photographs, is to stop being curious. And so with that in mind, you know, perhaps the ultimate goal of a photographer is to increase our curiosity. You know, can you walk the same mundane lane but still find something to photograph, right? This is the challenge of a photographer. And the simple question that I ask myself when I approach life, when I approach the streets, when I spend time in the park, wherever I may be, is what will reality manifest to be in a photograph? And when you create a photograph, you're not necessarily trying to photograph what life is, but what it could be. And maybe this to me is the ultimate answer to the question of why? You know, when I'm photographing, why am I photographing? Well, I'm just curious. Period. End. I'm just curious.